Good morning, thanks for coming back to the channel. Today, where to today? Well, today we're just going for a bit of a drive through the country, Perth. We've just pulled into Gidgeganup for a morning tea, cup of coffee, and then we're going to go on and it's an overnight stay in York via maybe Bindoon, Toodyay. So here we go for a bit of a drive, but come for the ride and see where we are. So here we are at the Gidgeganup Bakery and Cafe. Well, that's morning tea at Gidgeganup, and I'm back on the road, heading up to Toodyay. I'm probably going to head down. We came up originally through from Midland, just straight up the Toodyay highway to Gidgeganup, and you could continue on this road all the way through to Toodyay, but head back about 5 kilometres back towards Perth, and we'll turn right onto O'Brien's Road, and some lovely bit of countryside, nice right twisty, turny road, and some lovely forests and a bit of overhead canopy, etc. We've also got the whoop-de-doos, and that's what we're riding here. The camera just doesn't show the angle, but there's two very, very steep valleys, and go to the top of the hill, we almost think you're going to fall off the edge. That's known as a whoop-de-doo, so I'll do that just for the sake of the ride. Enjoy with the view as we continue up into the Chittering Valley, and I'll windle my way through onto Toodyay. Up here, unfortunately, is the scene where our famous racing driver, Mr. Peter Brock, passed away doing a rally race, I think it was. There's this car park and a bit of a memorial there, so I'll get off the bike and talk to you about that now. Hey, how you going? We're just going for a bit of a ride through the Chittering Valley. So we had morning tea up at Gidgeganup, and we're heading towards, I'm heading towards Bindoon for a bit of lunch maybe. But through the Chittering Valley, unfortunately, this is back in 2006, unfortunately, is when Peter Brock, our famous racing car driver and rally driver, had a fatal crash here, unfortunately, on this location. And there's a bit of a tribute to him as we... Peter Brock, 2006, unfortunately passed away in a fatal car crash, 1945 to 206. Rest in peace. King of the Mountain, Bathurst, they talk about that for the Bathurst 1000s, and his car number 05. Sad note, but on that sad note, we'll keep moving and head up to Bindoon for lunch. Enjoy the ride with me, please. Thanks for coming along. Here we are in Toodyay. We actually came here in the end for a bit of light lunch. The Toodyay Bakery behind me, famous bakery, very nice. But also they've got the Coca-Cola Cafe, which is over my shoulder now, down the side of the street. That's very good as well. We've just been revamped and renovated recently, so very nice inside. Didn't end up getting to Bindoon. Got stuck riding around Chittering Valley, some of the roads there, some lovely scenery, and then got caught in the rain, unfortunately. There we are for the Toodyay Sub Centre since 1943, and from memory there was a sign, Toodyay established in 1836, I think it was, but I'll check that and put it up on the screen for you. You can see it's starting to rain again now, so I'm going to head off heading through Northam for an overnight stay at York. Hope you're enjoying the travel with me, bit of scenery, come along for the ride, and we'll chat again soon. All the best, thanks, bye. Well, we've finished in Northam, heading out of Northam now and on the way to York, but had to pull over on the side of the road for this wide load. It really did take up all the road and scoots along at a fair speed too. So no, certainly had to pull over for this one. There's a car in front done the right thing as well. There's another bit of a wide load, and I thought they'd need a police escort. It really was quite wide and took up most of the road, but there must be certain limits. Anyway, back on the road now, heading to York.
Having a little bit of rest. We got to York, and then you say we got a bit wet there on the way through, a bit wet and cold, so I'm now at York and having a little bit of a warm bath. Too much information? Look away. But no, good day. Been a long time since I've had a soak in the bath, so that's what I'm going to do the next half hour. And then we'll have some dinner. Hope you come for another ride with me and enjoy another adventure tomorrow. Thanks for travelling with me today. Really appreciated it. Take care. Thanks for that. Bye.
Well, good morning. Still in York. We're going to head east. Me and my bike. But as she said that, the we is now a twosome, or a better word. I met another bike rider who also rode up on his own yesterday for a trip to York for an overnight stay. So I'm going to pair up with him, and we're going to go for a bit of a ride through the wheat belt. Well, we're just having a bit of morning tea here at the Flour Mill Cafe. And let's go and say hello to, I think his name was Dave. Yeah. See what's going on. As mentioned, I bumped another bike rider last night at the accommodation in York. Dave, wasn't it Dave? Boris. There we go. So we're going to go for a ride around
Quairading?
Quairading?
Yeah. Quairading.
All right.
Not dwelling, I like
We'll get to Quairading. I thought it started with a D. We're going to go to Quairading and then have a bit of a drive around, heading east more than into the wheat belt country. See where we go from there. So enjoy the ride. You've had your English breakfast muffin. I'm just having a scone. Nice coffee, nice little cafe. So if you're in York, come to the Flour Mill Cafe and they'll look after you. All right, we'll catch you on the road. All the best, thanks, bye. Before we leave the Flour Mill Cafe, next door in the old flour mill factory is quite a large exhibition of antiques and odds and ends, knickknacks, if you want to have a wander around. Here we are. That's what you're going to see. On the bike, and let's head off. Well, we're on the bikes, and here we are in Quairading already. So now, as we decided, we're going to head east from York, which we did, and we'll have a look around Quairading. Actually, it's a lot bigger town than I thought. If I can, I'll put the drone up. As you can see, there's a fair bit of cloud coverage, even a chance of rain again. So we got wet yesterday coming up through, as we were riding up the Chittering Valley through Toodyay. But yeah, let's have a look around Quairading, and then we'll probably go through to Cunderdin from there and work our way back down through to York for the night again. Well, look what we found. Can't start to say motor museum, but it's on the main street in Quairading. I want to say an abandoned, it's not abandoned obviously, but yeah, all these little Alfa Romeos and Fiats and a few others in there, just parked up. But you can see the dust on them. They have been there for a very long time. Who owns it? What's it all about? No idea. We just say we're coming down the main street and look through the shop front window. That's what we saw. Well, that's Quairading by drone, back on the bikes, and here we are. Well, we've made it to Cunderdin and the famous Ethamuga pub, which was a comic strip in the Post magazine many years ago, and the main street for Cunderdin. IGA and Farmers Delights and Rural Traders and pharmacy, etc., but surprisingly no coffee shop in the main street here. But we do get lucky. We find a lovely little coffee shop, having spoken to the locals, across the other side of the highway, heading towards Perth, still within Cunderdin. I'll show you that in a minute. All right, we've stopped at Cunderdin. A quick coffee at Cunderdin. We found this lovely little I think fairly new coffee shop. I'll give you the name a bit later on, but they've made it out of a railway carriage. Maggie's Nest. There we go.
Sorry? No.
As mentioned, we were at the Maggie's Nest up in Cunderdin. Stopped here for a quick coffee. But I've just found the owner, a young Miss Madam Julie. Julie will do. Julie. This is fairly new, you're saying?
Yes, we opened
all about
the
it.
cafe in October. So we took on the church, we bought the church. It was quite a process to buy the little Anglican church, which was deconsecrated end of 2020, I think it was.
Yep.
21, something there. And so we then went through the process of buying the church, which had to have a crown lease released to
sounds like an effort, doesn't
the
it?
government. So
Yeah.
it was quite a process, and then throw in the COVID lockdowns and everything.
Bit
It
of
was
red tape in the
papered over.
process as well, yeah.
So we got through all that. We bought the church, which gave us the site. We then picked up an old railway cart from a backyard in Parkerville, which we have obviously refurbed.
Oh,
So
okay.
the outside we've clad because the outside was a little weathered, but the inside is all original.
Yeah, like the
and we've
original
added,
floors. Yep.
Yeah, original floors. I think it was cargo, probably ag, because you've got the little tether loops
Of course,
still in place.
yeah.
We added the windows, added our booth seats, so you can come and sit down inside, and then we've obviously built in a little commercial kitchen, just a bit of a whistle-stop cafe.
Beautiful.
So this part opened in October last year,
Yep.
so 25. And yeah, we've been busy
Going
and
well.
going well. So
So-
we're open every Tuesday to Saturday, 8:30 till 1:30.
Yep.
And the boutique is similar hours.
Yep. And Facebook page, your followers,
Yes,
what are you
at
doing?
Maggie's Nest.
Maggie's Nest on Facebook, is it?
Facebook and Instagram.
Instagram as
Yes.
well? All right, well,
and then
so
I
we go from
believe
there.
Threads as well now, but I don't understand all of that. But yeah, so
Going well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
going
that's
really
fantastic.
well.
Yeah.
Lots of visitors. Being on the highway, it's handy.
Yep.
So lots of traffic pulling in, definitely between Kalgoorlie to Perth.
And so what's in the church? Your boutique?
Women's boutique,
Okay.
so clothing, lifestyle clothing, everyday clothing, and gifts
Lovely.
and homewares.
All right.
And we're online as well, so www.themaggiesnest.com.au.
We'll put that up on a little bit on the screen so I can
Thank
see
you.
that. My pleasure. That's lovely.
Lovely
Lovely
to
to
meet
meet you.
you.
And
Yeah.
you. All right. All the very best.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks for stopping.
Okay. Cheers.
Good on
Bye.
you.
There we go. Maggie's Nest in Cunderdin. All the best. And we just before we leave have a quick peeky-boo into the old church. Just get an inside shot of your little boutique. That's okay. It smells nice, doesn't it? The candles, they're the scent. Give me a wave. Thank you. Well, that was Cunderdin and the Maggie's Nest. Back on the bikes, and we're going to head down the main highway, the highway from Perth to Kalgoorlie. And we're going to drop into Meckering, where many, many years ago there was a earthquake. Meckering and then back to York from there. All right, we've come out of Cunderdin after the coffee at Maggie's. Very, very nice. We're at Meckering, the site of the earthquake. And that's the type of damage it did. Buckled those railway tracks. I'm quite sure these are the original, but shows what type of damage it did do for this earthquake. I'll get a bit of detail when it happened. We've got what year it goes back. 60s, but 6.9 on the Richter scale back in 1968, so a few years ago, but that's what it's all about. A couple of decent tracks, shows sort of the thickness of that split and a bit of damage to the infrastructure, water pipes and railway line. And my new best friend Boris from Bristol was living in Beaconsfield near Fremantle at the time, back in 1968, and felt the earthquake in his home. And we've left at Meckering and headed back down the highway towards Perth, then turn left and come onto this nice little back road or B road, and we'll follow this all the way through to York. But just some lovely countryside, little almost a laneway. Parts it's under tree canopy, just a magnificent little back road. Here we are back in York after a bit of a drive up to the country and Quairading, etc. And back through Cunderdin. But we'll have a quick look at the York Motor Museum. quick look at the room, TV, bed, microwave, little fridge and bathroom. That's about it. A couple of chairs. Good morning. Where to today? Today we're day 3 of our trip, heading home. We're going to go home via York. Stayed here again last night, so 2 nights in York. And today we're going to head off via Beverly for a bit of morning tea and coffee, etc. And then down to Brookton, and then probably just whittle our way down the Brookton Highway. If we can get on a couple of B roads, we'll do so, but otherwise, that's the plan of attack for today. Please come along for the ride. Hopefully we'll find some interest to have a look at on the way through. Yes, bye. Before we leave York and start heading home via Beverly and Brookton, I just want to throw the drone up and give you a bit of an overview of what it looks like from the sky. Departed York and heading to Beverly. Well, we've made it to Beverly and down the main street, and a very nice, tidy little town it is as well. This is March 2026. And currently the US and Israel are having a bit of a ding-dong with Iran, and as such as petrol shortages. So it's just interesting to see that these couple of cars here are full up with jerry cans, just getting their fuel. Made it to Beverly for a cup of tea. And then we're going to continue on from here to Brookton and then head home from there. I think it's probably going to the Brookton Highway through to Perth, all the way through. But yeah, nice little town, very clean. This is their main street and some lovely old buildings. We saw the town centre. There's their administration block, and then we are again with the Beverly Post Office. This old building. Another nice one next door. And across the road, we've got the hotel and the Avon buildings where they were made, but the big verandas and whatever. Bakery next door to that. Yeah, lovely little spot. A few more boys come up for a bit of a bike ride from the look of it. Look at the Beverly Railway Station. Nice and brightly painted up and looking nice and clean. East End Gallery, and then a bank house at the end of the main street. Well, we've had our morning tea at Beverly and back on the road, heading to Brookton. We'll probably get some fuel ourselves at Brookton if we can find some, and then continue on and end of our travels. But on the way through, here we are, Brookton. Just some lovely murals painted in the country, whether it be on the silos or water tanks or sides of sea containers. Very, very nice. Here we are getting some petrol. The first service station in Brookton was a prepay only. They must be getting a few drive-offs. Price of fuel is because of this Iran war situation. But back on the highway, heading home. We'll call it quits from there. Thanks for travelling with me on these last couple of days. Really have appreciated your company. Like, subscribe would be great. Comment, all that type of stuff. I look forward to you on the next adventure. All the best. Thanks. Bye.